Welcome to the channel. This is Nerd.World. Today we're looking at the life of Arthas Menethil, the tragic prince of Lordaeron who fell to darkness and corruption and became the Lord of the Dead, the Lich King. Before we get started, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you like this video. Arthas was the crown prince of the kingdom of Lordaeron, a powerful human kingdom on the planet of Azeroth. The kingdom was often plagued by many enemies, occasionally by demons, by the undead. Arthas, an honourable man, a paladin, a warrior, a soldier and a prince, was one of the kingdom's greatest warriors and healers and leaders. No one could have foreseen his fall, what he would become, the tragedy of his life, the steps that would take him there. Early on in his life, Arthas would fall into a forbidden love with Jaina Proudmoore, a powerful mage and mystic who loved him back dearly, and whose heart would be broken by the events of his fall. It began at the so-called culling of Stratholme, where, logically, Arthas was correct, but morally, he was wrong. The city had been infected with a disease, a cursed infestation that was going to turn many of the local population into the undead, into the scourge, who would spill out, slaughter everyone who was not infected, and fall out into the kingdom of Lordaeron around it. Countless thousands, if not millions, would die unless it was stopped now. They'd arrived too late to stop the locals consuming the poisoned grain, and it was at this moment that Arthas made the fateful decision to cull the city, kill every last man, woman and child, to save every other man, woman and child across the entire kingdom and beyond. Although his commanders and Jaina herself could not watch him do this, and would leave, abstaining, many of his warriors, his soldiers, would follow him into the city, and they would begin their merciless slaughter. Not knowing who was infected and who wasn't, it was not simply a lottery. You couldn't take the chance. He had to kill them all, and he knew it. But what he didn't know was this was destroying his soul, taking away the humanity that made him such a great paladin, so that the holy light would no longer listen to him in the future, and he would seek a different source of power. Little did he know that this was part of a setup. He was being encouraged to become a puppet of the Legion of Sargeras, a conduit into the world to create death and destruction, to soften up Azeroth for invasion by the Burning Legion. An endless army of demons that would infest, conquer and destroy the world if left unchallenged. Arthas was a great threat to their plans, but could be a great ally, and they knew it. Manaroth, the demon, tricked Arthas into pursuing him to the cold north, to the great continent of Northrend. Arthas would betray the mercenaries who he hired to help kill the demon. He would sacrifice his own men by the dozen, by the 100, if it meant victory. He burnt his own ships to prevent his troops returning home. He did everything he could to seek vengeance upon the demons, not knowing that killing these demons would not really kill them, simply send their soul back into the twisting nether to be reforged and reborn, and the demon would live again. Arthas, hearing the whispers, was pushed to seek out a powerful sword, Frostmourne, to wear the helm of the Lich King. Once wielded, the sword and the helm would whisper to him. They would merge, becoming a single entity. The Lich King. The power to raise the dead and destroy the world, and the will to do it. Arthas slaughtered his own army, his own men, his own troops. He became the very thing he'd arrived in Northrend to destroy. He arrived to defeat these creatures, to prevent them destroying Lordaeron, to prevent armies of the undead rising, and now he was raising the undead. He would return to Lordaeron to see his father after these events. His father and his kingdom not knowing what had happened. He was given a hero's welcome as he walked through the city gates. He marched into the throne room, kneeled before his father, picked up his sword, and succeeded his father in the throne. From then on, he laid waste to his own people, his own kingdom, the survivors of which fled to other human kingdoms such as Stormwind, to seek refuge and spread the word of what had happened. Eventually, Arthas would return north and fully become the Lich King, until eventually the combined forces of the different races of Azeroth, humans, orcs, trolls, elves, blood elves, goblins, would combine to take on the armies of the undead and eventually see an end to Arthas. Finally his soul liberated upon his death, as the heroes of Azeroth slain him in his great fortress of Icecrown Citadel. He saw only darkness for himself beyond, but at least now his soul was free, and he could be mourned by Jaina and by his former friends and countrymen who remembered the good prince and paladin that he once was. And there is the brief story, the tragic story of Arthas Menethil, Prince of Lordaeron and the Lich King of the Undead. I hope you liked that video. And again, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. If you're a Warcraft fan, I'm sure you all remember the amazing expansion of Wrath of the Lich King and how prominently Arthas featured in the original Warcraft 3 game, which I've played. I haven't played the remastered version. Let me know if you have. I played a little bit of it, wasn't too impressed, and I've heard bad things generally. But the original is superb. With that said, bye-bye.